So morning traders, hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Welcome again to another episode of the Traders Show. This time we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. So this topic came about just like this podcast was born. So this podcast was born out of discussions that we normally had at the office. And so for this week, we were talking about athletics. We've been watching most athletes trying to understand sportsmen and the correlation between sports and trading. So basically today we're going to talk about trading as an extreme sport, lessons from top athletes including Eliud, Kipchoge, Michael Phelps, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. So there are a couple of athletes we can...
Cristiano Ronaldo,
Jordan. Yeah. So there are very many athletes that you can learn from. And there are many similarities that exist between trading and athletics or sports. Why? Because both of them are performance fields. So in these fields, you eat what you kill. That's what we like saying. You don't have to eat something if you don't kill something. Like you can't, it's black and white. You can't hide under something. You can't try to, if you're poor at your game, you lose. And if you're losing, you're basically not having anything to eat. If you're good at your game, you win. And if you're winning, you have a lot to eat and probably even more to help other people. So that's the topic of the day. I think Caleb is well prepared. So for the topic, he has very many points. So we'll be chatting about different things. I think the idea of the podcast is that we'll have a topic. We'll talk about different views from different athletes. We'll relate that to trading, and then we'll jump onto another point and do the same. So there are many things you'll learn. I think there is a distinct difference between what many people think about trading and those who have been trading. I think if you've been trading in the markets for a long time, if you've been trading for a year or two, you still don't probably understand what it takes to succeed in this game. I think for me, I'd say you need to do it for a minimum of 5 years for you to get a grasp and a feel of what it takes to really succeed long term in the markets. And then you make the decision whether you'll go on or you'll stop. If you're going on, you need to change some things. If you're stopping, well and good. Then you can look for something less to do. So Caleb, start us off, please.
Okay, I think I'll also introduce myself before we give it to Caleb. So listeners, my name is Taras Lawi, risk manager at Financial Hub. So I think I've introduced myself much in the previous episodes. So today, as Ken has already introduced the topic, it's a very dear topic to us. For us, we believe trading is a very solid career that can be nurtured well if you put in the hours, if you put in the discipline and all that relates to sports. So basically we are going to crunch how we believe and how we believe trading relates to sports. Some characteristics that most traders have and also most athletes have that has helped them to be outstanding. So also, as you've noted, we've not talked about just any athlete. We've talked about getting nuggets from the top athletes. If you look at Kipchoge, he's the top athlete in like the best in marathon. Cristiano is one of the best in football. Michael Phelps is the best in swimming. So basically, we are trying to link how are these top athletes, what are their characteristics that are making them successful, and also we'll look into what it takes for you to be a successful trader, like a top tier trader, not just any trader. So we want to relate, like how can you, we are not there yet, but at least we also know good traders and we know how they conduct themselves. So we'll also link some of the good traders to some of the great athletes. So basically that will be the topic for today. I hope you enjoy. It'll be about an hour and a half. So stay tuned. Caleb.
Trading is an extreme sport and you're going against the best in the world. And if you're not well prepared, well trained, you do not stand a ghost of a chance. Anyway, so welcome guys to today's episode. Ken and Taras have already introduced it, so I won't say much in the introduction. As they said, we're going to talk about trading as an extreme sport because we emulate and look up to a lot of people in the sports world and what they do and how they how they train, how they perform, because they have to perform at world-class level. And we look at the similarities that we have in terms of trading, because trading, I think most of it will come as something new. Maybe you're not yet familiar with how we are going to show the comparison between the two, but that's mainly what we're going to talk about today. And starting off, trading as an extreme sport, I think I'll start off with the first question that I had for you guys, and I think it's what we had started talking a bit about yesterday. Mm-hmm. What is your take and what is your view as market as an extreme sport? What does it mean? What are your takes? What do you think? It's what we were discussing yesterday.
For me, I think I'll just give a short answer. Mm-hmm. It's the toughness of the markets. the challenge, like how markets are challenging, basically.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. So for you to overcome the challenge, you have to like put yourself through extreme pressures, working extreme hours. So basically, that's how I believe it relates to extreme sport, like the hardness of trading, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, trading is a game. Money is a scorecard. So with that as a framework, I normally look at the skills you need to develop for you to become a good trader. So unlike other games where the scorecard is how many points you've scored, how many championships you've won, in the markets, it's all about how much money you've made, how much more can you make. Unfortunately, that's the scorecard that you have to use. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing also.
How much you've made.
Yeah, how much you've made, how much you can make more, because it's about breaking the limits. Like, for example, if you move from managing a $10,000 account to a $100,000 account, your mind must adjust in some ways. For example, if you're used to making $100, $200, $300 per trade, and now you're making $3,000 a trade, $4,000 a trade, then you really have to adjust your mindset on how you manage that.
So you adapt.
Yep. Once you move to $1 million, you're risking $1 million shillings. So you have to again adjust your thinking. So it's about breaking those barriers. Money is the scorecard, but you're breaking those barriers as you're moving higher. So it's a challenge that you want to master, you're developing, but you're moving higher. And that's how I'd look at it as a sport.
So in terms of money is the scorecard, that's what we're looking to gauge different people's performance.
Yep. So if you're managing $1 million, you're obviously better than someone who's managing 100,000, or you're more developed. That's the best word I think I can use. For example, Michael has been in the game longer than us. He's obviously managing more money. Yep. He's doing better than us. So he's ahead of the game. He's more developed than we are. We'll probably get there, or we'll eventually get there. But we are still developing. Like, we're not as developed as he is. He's much more sophisticated in how he looks at things. He understands things better.
So to get you right, it's more or less your performance, not how much amount you have.
No. It's your performance.
Okay.
And your stages of development again.
Because someone might have $100,000 and someone else 1 million, but the 100,000 has been in it longer, performing much better. He didn't have the amount of capital as compared to the other person at an earlier stage. You get my point?
Yeah, but I also think in trading, once you master the skill, the next big challenge is how you leverage up the capital.
Of course.
And capital will always be looking for you if you're doing a good thing. So I always think that if you're a good trader and you don't leverage up your trading, there are only two things that are probably the challenge. One is yourself. So either it's a challenge for you to leverage up capital, and there are very good traders who have been unable to leverage up the capital. For example, I was reading Market Wizards, and a guy like Peter Brandt said he was unable to trade people's money because it interfered with his psychology. The minute he took up people's money, it interfered with his psychology.
This is who?
Peter Brandt.
Okay, the chartist.
Yeah. And so he decided he'll focus on trading his own cash, but try to leverage up a bit. But the other guys like Shapiro, who managed up to $600 million, coming all the way from about 100,000, moving all the way to about $600 million. Imagine. And he did well on all those accounts. So it's a matter of mindset, framework, the individual, but also it's about the skill, like how developed are you, how sophisticated are you, and how much pressure can you handle. Because again, when you're managing people's money, it comes with more pressure. It's not like you're managing your own money. So some of these things, you really have to be smart around how you handle some of those things. But it's like sports. When you're playing when you're starting out in your career in sports, and maybe in your high school team, you're playing against maybe some small teams. You don't have a big crowd, and then you join the NBA. Now you have a crowd, you have investors, you have people watching you. Now there's more pressure, and you're expected to perform. So
of course,
it's about now who can handle such pressure.
Okay.
Yep. So that's how I'd look at it. And it's just like business also. I think business is the same. If
also, finish up.
If you're running a big business, like running a startup, like Ken told us long time ago, the minute you expand your business, the more the challenge, the bigger the hurdle. So it's more stressful when you're doing something bigger. But that's again the beauty of it. So you really have to, that's how I think about it, or rather that's how I think about it. Yep.
Okay. So on that point, before we go into any other point, you've said that in trading, money is a scorecard.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes trading difficult?
Yeah.
The fact that, okay, in sports, there's actually money also.
Yeah.
If Kipchoge wins a marathon, he can easily win $2 million, $3 million.
Yep.
But do you think he never thinks about the money?
Yeah.
He's just purely focusing on the process of
The-
winning
the training.
competition.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think the fact that money is the scorecard,
That's the danger
that's
of
the
it.
danger of trading. Exactly.
Because money
Like a
does,
paradox.
exactly,
Mm,
does
It's
a lot to your
paradox,
mind.
yeah.
Mm.
If you make $1 million shillings in a matter of minutes,
Mm.
does a lot to your mind.
Mhm.
And like someone else, especially when you're brought up in a culture whereby you're told to make $1 million, you need to work extra hard, you need to take long. Then in a matter
All
of
a sudden,
minutes,
you're making in
exactly,
minutes.
you're making $1 million in minutes.
Mhm.
That can really fuck you up if you're not careful.
Exactly.
The
So I
same
think-
happens when you're losing.
Mm.
Mhm.
You woke up and by the time the day ends, you've lost $1 million shillings.
Mhm.
Not many people can handle such things.
Mhm.
And we're playing the game at a high level.
Mhm.
If you even go back to the levels of 50,000,
Mm.
because you've told people like I've lost $1,000 in a day, and people are like, "Wow!" And you slept that day.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's
The tick is left.
yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
psychological. Yeah,
Mhm.
the making of the money and the losing of the money. That's dangerous. I think.
Mm.
But you really over time you also need to learn to. I think with experience you also learn how to handle such things,
Mhm.
and that's why you also need to grow up slowly. Like you can't move from managing, let's say, 1,000 to 10,000. No, 1,000 to $1 million.
Mhm.
That's a big jump.
Mhm.
But if you move 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, 100,000, 500, 500, $1 million.
Mhm.
Okay, that's gradual
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it can help you develop. But yeah, I agree
Exactly.
with you. I
Plus,
agree with you.
Like another way we've also helped ourselves like minimize that. Okay, like not minimize, like get that detachment out is by framing money in percentages.
Yep.
So in as much as you're losing money, making money, you're not thinking of it like, I've lost 100,000. This is 1% of my account.
Yep.
It's basically just 1% of your account. So
Yeah.
basically, you don't feel like the money aspect of it torturing your
Your
mind.
mentality.
But it's so easy for you if you always frame your losses and profits in terms of money. It's so easy. It's a torture.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's always a torture
Yep.
because you make money, lose money, especially as you start trading. So,
Guaranteed.
yeah, it will always be a torture, and it will be so hard for you to form that mental framework of a winner. See, so basically, number one point when tumesema tu is trading has that aspects of making money, but try so much and not have that framework in your mind
Yep.
that I'm here to make money. You're here to perform and be consistent in what you're doing.
Exactly.
Money will be the reward.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it will be like I think most traders should get that from athletes. Like
Yeah.
they are doing the competition, but just to be number one.
Yeah. Not to make $1 billion.
Not to make
or
a million.
something.
Champions League uko wasi wanakanga tu I want to be number one in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Champions League has I think $100 million at stake.
Mhm.
You see, and that's a lot of money. But if you now
That's
start
a lot.
Yeah, if you
What's the
now start
amount?
if you now just start playing with $100 million in your mind, probably you won't perform the best. You see? So I think it's one way that traders can also emulate from athletes. Like they don't always have that money factor in their mind. They want to be the best in what they're doing. If it's running, they want to be the best athlete, a best runner. I mean, if it's in swimming, they want to like the fastest swimmer, not the swimmer who made the most money.
Yep.
Exactly.
Of course.
So I think that's one thing we can get from also.
Because even before we go into the points, well, me haven't described how I view sports trading. Okay, me have three ways.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, open for critiques and open to your discussions. Yeah, I'll be fast in this one. So the first one, I believe, it's a sport in terms of trading as a sport. In terms of you first have to conquer yourself before you go conquer other things. So it's already a challenge within yourself. For example, like the way you're saying, losing $1 million is tough. Okay, so if you've not dealt with yourself first, it's very hard for you to do it in the competition.
Yeah.
Because in the competition, it's strict.
Yeah, it's strict.
It's tough. So my first step in terms of becoming an extreme sport, you have to conquer yourself before you move into other things. The second part is what you were talking about, Ken, yesterday. There's $1 million on the table. You're performing at 20%, Taras is performing at 5%. Who will the money go to?
Ken.
Exactly. So investor will say, let me give Ken, because Ken will give me $200,000
There's
at
no
the end of the
loyalty in
year.
making money.
Yeah, there's no loyalty, exactly. There's no loyalty. May I rather give Ken, even if Taras is performing, it's quite exceptional. 5% si kidogo. Most people are blowing accounts.
Yeah.
So money will go to your side. So that's the second way I think of it. Like there's that competition. The third way I think of it is everyone wants everyone's money.
It's a zero-sum game.
Man eat man.
Man eat man society. What you were saying earlier on, you just said right now, what, the dog eat dog or something.
It's a zero-sum game. Yeah.
Zero sum.
Yeah.
So the fact that yes,
For me
there's
to win, you have to lose.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if let's say there's only one market existing, only Taras and only Papa, Ken and Taras are trading this market. It's the only one that exists. The only way you'll win is if he loses.
Yeah.
The only way. You can't both win. Because you lose, your pesa yako itenda kwake. Taras akilose, itenda kwake. So now think of it as a mass scale. Everyone wants everyone's money. May I want the money you have. Not consciously that I'm coming for Ken's money, but see what we are going to take this chunk of money we're all taking from one another. So you have to be at the top of your game. You have to be flexible enough to change when the things change. You have to be very fast
to know when these guys want to take your money.
Exactly.
They're coming for you. Stay alert.
Exactly. Anyway, that's a light joke we keep having. Anyway, so just to, in a nutshell, those are the three ways.
I think your first point was that it's
conquer yourself.
Conquer yourself. Yeah,
so
true.
You have in your mind.
So exactly, like even before you start, let's say running even a 10 kilometer, you just waking up to go to that track. Usha make a step. Then ule mtu anasema mimi ndakimbia next marathon. The same way to like someone who's starting to trade, but he's always postponing putting his first account. I have a friend. She was telling me she deposited $300,
but she's never traded
back in March. But the confidence to put one trade, even the first one. She has never had a loss. Even the first one. Exactly. So it shows
it's like this other friend of yours, Ken, the one I was watching the account. You know the one I have. I was looking at it today morning. He never took one. Imerudi zero. Ametoa kila kidogo.
Exactly. So such people.
Everything is out anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So such people, like, they don't first believe in themselves. Like, you've not even conquered that. Hey, let me first try this hard stuff. Because they know it's hard. For someone not to do it and enjoy stuff, I can easily lose this money. So first accept that, hey, I lose this money, but let me get into it first. You know, how my experience will be. So that's very important in any sport. Like, start somewhere. So the moment you start somewhere, you're starting to conquer yourself.
And as you're saying start somewhere, and they're giving chance to lead to my second, what we can talk about. What example sports you're most encouraged, you like looking up
in terms of
that gives you this encouragement that you like comparing the two together. Which sports do you look up to? Unaangalianga sports?
Oh, which sports? For me,
that you can relate to trading, and who in those sports? Maybe 2 or 3 examples.
One is marathon, and it's Eliud Kipchoge. Another one is I like the consistency of Lewis Hamilton.
Okay,
F1. He's been like the top for the longest time ever since he started, always winning. And if you look at how he also frames his success, he started racing when he was so young, at around 12. Those go-karting. See, so the fact that he started somewhere and nurtured it to this level.
And I think to just add on to what he's saying, like we were saying, Caleb, if there's one thing we've discovered from watching all these people, because basically I was thinking about it early in the morning. I think what we've been doing is we've been in a research lab trying to look at what makes some people tick and what makes some people losers. Definitely that's what we've been trying to study, right? And one of the things we've discovered is most of these winners, most of these people who win or are exceptional at what they're doing started out very young. I was not even aware Lewis started at 12.
At 12.
Dalio started at 12.
12, exactly.
Kobe started at 13. Michael Phelps started at 11.
And
Messi 10.
Messi 10. Like, these people were young.
Bill Gates coding at 12.
13, So if you think about it, I was actually telling Caleb, one of the things that I personally would, if I'm super rich and I would want to do philanthropy, I think one of the things I try to create is a system which supports people when they're young.
Exactly.
Because you were talking with Caleb how we dropped out of...
And we're very passionate about this.
Exactly. We dropped out of school to pursue trading. Trading is not something useless. But when you meet with someone who's been in the system, what do they try to tell you? They try to tell you how risky it is, how you're not playing a safe game, how you should be having papers for you to be accepted in the society. No one cares what you're trying to do to perfect it. True. Like, if there are just 1 or 2 people who tell you, okay, this is what you want to do, I'm going to create a perfect support system for you to do this, things will be way, way, way easier for people to be exceptional. Because there are very many people who were actually talking about with Caleb who are quite good at some things, but they never got a good support system for them to further what they were doing.
Exactly.
So the system was rotten. Like, it basically never...
Yeah, like even me in high school, I had very good friends who were top athletes. Basketballers top,
but walienda
football top, but system in Kenya doesn't allow you to pursue your talent.
Yep.
I didn't want to talk about this at this point, but you say it here as so anyway, I have to do this. I have to talk about it. It's dear to me. So it's what Ken, just to adding up both of what you're saying, so it's school. The school system is just it's messed up. It's not messed up. It's just tilted a bit. It needs to be aligned well.
Yeah.
Okay. What I mean is, we do not have a support system. What Ken you're saying, the support system to be able to nurture talent from an early age.
Yep.
It's all about academic performance.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the point is it needs to be diversified.
Yeah.
Like there need to be academic performance.
Exactly.
Sports performance.
And that's what I was going to say.
Exactly. Such things.
We don't. It's so based on academic performance that we do not give enough chance for these people with talents at a young age to be nurtured.
Yeah, true.
And it's not that we don't have things like drama festival, music festival. Yes, we have them, but it's not really. It's the thing that you're told. Don't read too much.
It's like Nikita,
now just go.
If you look at a girl like Nikita Kering, I think that's what she was lucky to have.
Of course, with the British system schools, you have that support. The 844. What's the new system called?
I don't even know.
CBC in full.
Curriculum based something.
CBC. I don't know how it's. I hope it has something to do with this. But my main point is, you need us. You see, the drama festival and all that does not nurture you to become a master at your craft.
Yep.
You get, like in school, we don't even have a system. This is even almost worldwide to differentiate someone who's dyslexic and someone who's not.
Yep.
Like kunum to what's dyslexia?
Like someone who can't remember things or something.
Exactly.
Like that,
So this guy in academic performance, of course, from the word go, he will not perform well. To punishment, being beaten, go back home, suspension.
Not on his side at any point.
Exactly. Those things, man, it doesn't make sense. So we just need what Ken is saying. And hopefully if we can do this moving forward into the future and give back as Financial Hub, is to be able to create those support systems where people come and we nurture them from the
because
young
there's
age.
Talent, man.
There's a lot of talent at a young age. Look at us. We started trading when we were 19, 20. We were in high school the whole time, in boarding school, all of us. For 4 years, we do not have access to the outside world, what people are doing. So you don't have any idea of what you can do.
Don't even know what's going on.
Exactly. When you finish school, what happens? There's this list of schools you are chosen. You said you want to do these things. It's the government or the system that's going to decide what you're going to do. You get there, you can't even... You're not even competent.
Yep.
You just chose it because you thought academic performance, I'm performing well in chemistry, or maybe this is my passion. But anyway, that's just to add on top of it. Now, when it comes to sports, all the sports people that you're talking about started at a young age. That means, of course, they had a support system. They got into a club or a music school or a certain system that supports all this for them to become masters. And then they sort of now bring them to a team that can help them with those other stuff. For example, they brought in managers who can handle the business side so that this guy can fully concentrate on that skill and talent they're good at. Now, but
anyway, hata ukiambia mzazi unataka kutrade kwanza na kukashifu kijana, hakuna kutrade kama hujamaliza degree.
Exactly.
True.
The degree is more important than
tunaambiwa
rudi shule. The sad thing about it, the sad thing about it is we are so certain that this system is not working.
True.
Like that's the sad part about it. If academics was working, it would be nice. But now there are very many graduates who don't have jobs.
Yeah.
There are very many. And we know the system is not working also. But bado unataka tu mtoto wako fit in. Unaona umse anataka kwa outlier lakini
and you know why?
Unataka fit in more.
Unaona ko different already.
Because also
more.
These people who have gone to school, they think the paper will be what will give them the job.
Yeah.
But it's basically your competence and your skill.
Yeah.
So you can go to campus. Basically in those 5 years, and this is what society says, you'll get experience when you start working. But you need to start developing these skills at an early age.
Yeah.
If let's say you're learning computer science, uko hivi year 1, year 2, year 3,
kama hujaanza
code and forming products, selling products. Exactly. It'll like bado if you come after your degree, your graduation, come to my company with a paper and okay, in campus, what project did you work on? You see? Hakuna. And like literally there's any asa unataka mimi as a manager, I now start teaching you everything about what umesema unajua kwa CV yako. So basically it's also the fact that also cause top academicians get jobs easily.
Yeah.
But shida ni yeah 40% when you're unemployed, that 99% of them are incompetent.
Yeah,
but if you just like go to campus, have like a focus on it, like fully usikue joka tena
bas pick up project uko juo. Unajua pia we have to support both sides.
Exactly.
There's the system problem and then there's the people problem.
Exactly.
So
which makes it worse.
Exactly. You go to campus, like if everyone has been
it's
to
not
campus
strict.
here. We were not even serious about what we were doing. It's just about passing the exam.
There's a 30%. Kwanza in KU it's a 30% show up in class.
Yeah.
I only need to show up in class 30% of the time.
That's how you
Serious?
It's
already like that.
It's already like that.
So it's the opposite.
Around 40. Daystar Strathmore, I think, the opposite.
Okay.
But this is public 30-40.
So already you're starting from also the people need to wake up. And that's why I find it weird when someone is in college hata haja figure out kwanza kutoka huko nje atafanya nini na bado anakuja ananiambia kiana unajua una degree. Okay, yes, me I don't have a degree but I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know what I'll be doing. Si tafti bado kenye ndafanya.
Exactly.
Wewe hata ujui. Who is worse?
And most of them end up finding jobs in what they didn't even study.
Exactly. That's even
like
worse.
There's this genius kid. I think he's called some Indian kid. He's 13 years and he's already working for IBM. I think you know that kid.
I think I've forgotten the name.
Exactly. The moment you're good, you won't miss a spot.
Exactly.
But the moment also wewe uko same na the other people in the field who do okay, the same tu vile tumesema hapa hivi. There are many traders.
Yeah.
But they are renowned traders who trade for over the longest years. But msaki deposit account yake leo ya $50.
Amejita trader.
Hakuwa shakuwa trader. But sasa kuna difference between ule mse mwingine na this other guy. So basically it's about getting the competence in your field. Like try and be the best. Hata kama umeenda shule, try and be the best uko shule.
Bas.
Sasa tena ukuja out of school and you're not the best. I can't hire you.
Had you finished your points? The ones before you take Kens.
Yeah, for me I had those two
one.
people.
Okay.
So I think we'll continue.
Okay,
I'll continue building up on how Kipchoge has developed us.
Just examples.
For me, when I was growing up, I think one of the sports that I was really, really into, I was watching a lot of it, and I was watching not even really the foreign sports, but I was watching it like Kenyan, was basketball. Because I grew up in an institution, so basketball was being played a lot, and there were good people. Like there are people who will even play on the Kenyan team who I would see like practice and come up and become so good at it. So definitely now, when it comes to high school, I had to watch out for basketball. So the likes of MJ, Kobe, LeBron. So that's one of the sports that I really pay so much attention to. And now I've also now started getting into athletics. So realize there's exceptional people. And also chess. I think chess is also quite interesting. Chess is also a good sport.
Also sport, yeah.
So I think I've seen Gary Kasparov started also at 12. There was the guy who founded DeepMind, was taken to a chess club when I was at 5. And
Kaslan.
Yeah. Magnus, exactly.
Magnus,
yeah.
started
So
at a young. He became a master, grandmaster at young age.
Akina Bobby Fischer. Yeah. So also watching that side also has taught me a lot about very many things about how you should handle your life.
Okay. So in sports, those are the main
ones that I look at.
Okay. Because me, personally, the ones I look up to is like boxing.
Yeah, najua ni mtu wa UFC. Kale wampenda vita.
Gym guys. When I'm in the gym, I'm normally watching. You can just put your phone and watch. So things like, I didn't know that guy was really great. Okay, someone might find it as a shock, but Mike Tyson, that guy was a beast. That guy was a beast.
Tyson, Ali.
Knockouts. Now Ali was movie. He's a fast guy. But Tyson is like, hey bro, Tyson kills you. Akwachi. And then when you've tapped out, he comes and picks you up, tells you, hey, pole. Because that guy comes and kills you. People like Mayweather, yes, people see him flaunting, but that guy, work ethic, crazy. The other people, Rand Garcia. The other day, this guy we saw, you remember when I was saying I can sort of put a bet on Logan Paul?
Yeah.
The only reason I was saying that is because he was putting in the work ethic. Like, you can really differentiate people with someone who's just talking yappy and someone who's working because he's coming to beat you. Yeah? Other things apart from those things like UFC, Kina McGregor, Stylebender. You remember that guy, Stylebender? The bad guy. It's called Israel Adesanya.
But I think it's also a very interesting sport.
That one is interesting.
It's very interesting.
Stylebender, Francis Ngannou, Usman. Then other sports. I'm not really much into F1. I see people watching, but I think I'll come into it sometime. I've
Forex
not.
also interesting.
It's
but,
interesting, yeah. There's this documentary you say we should watch. The F1
called,
what's it called? On Netflix.
Race to something. I can't
Yeah,
remember the name.
I was
I
also
think I'll
told to
watch
watch
it,
that.
yeah.
that
I'll watch it
documentary.
first.
Very interesting, yeah.
It will give me
It
some
shows
interest.
like what it takes
interest.
to it shows what it takes to also become an F1 champion. Like
It's a lot. It's not just about driving.
It's about driving. It's skill. Because the driving of skill, like the driving skill, teamwork. Because that guy works with like 20 engineers.
20.
Yeah. Like there's always a
Because if the car
back room.
tire
There's always a back room where like the engineers are watching you, like communicating with you as you drive. So like next turn, so like you really need to be sharp, active. Like microsecond can take the win from you. A small corner ukifanya vibaya.
That's it.
Yeah. So like you need perfection also in that, and it takes time for that perfection to happen. And that's how Hamilton wins. See, he has the best car. Ferrari actually has a better car. But Hamilton,
Serious?
Yeah, Hamilton wins.
Like in better, what do you mean? Faster? Or
I think horsepower. It has a higher horsepower by I think car 30. Yeah, it's a better car, yes. But Hamilton has a better skill, and he's always winning. So
Ferrari ni kina Shoemaker.
Shoemaker.
Okay.
So it's all about skill. Basically,
I think we've
skill
also
development.
forgotten one sport, which I think is very interesting. Business. Yeah.
Business is a
You look
sport
at
also.
business, it's a sport, man. Sika kina Bill hao ni sportsman. Kina Rockefeller, we. Then raise your kitu.
Business
True.
sportsman.
Business is a sport, man. For you to like win, you people want to take your castle. Caleb, today, you think people won't start companies to compete with you? They will.
Of course they will.
But you have to be kwanza hiyo ndo hata sports yenyewe sasa.
And the sports.
Ndo sports sasa.
And things like you guys like golf.
Golf, I'm not
NFL.
We are not that
Let me
rich
get
yet.
rich first.
NFL, because also Mills just completed with athletes, Olympians, Ken said basketball, football.
Yeah.
But as we're not, the three of us are not so big in football.
But I think business is also interesting,
business,
man. Listening to stories of like
business
Rockefeller unajua wakianza hizo oil walikuwa ngapi? And he bought out all of them.
I remember.
All of them.
True.
All
Out
of
of
them.
business.
Out of business.
So basically,
Kina
I think,
Thomas, you remember that guy who died?
it's all about the competition aspect.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
competition and performance.
Yep.
See, you need to perform and you're also competing.
Yep.
So that factor really makes business a sport,
Yeah.
trading a sport.
Yeah.
So the fact that every day I have investors,
Yeah.
I'm
Have
also
to show
I
up.
have bills to
You
pay.
have to show up.
I have to show
No
up. So,
excuses.
no excuses, exactly. So I think after mentioning all these fields, we can now try and go
Give
into
some
the
points.
pointers of how now these people have been able to get to that level of proficiency and success. So like we can start with Kipchoge. We've listened to him this weekend. He's a very interesting guy.
Which video is that? You should give people the shout out they go watch.
The
We'll
video.
drop the link below.
Yeah, we'll drop
Okay,
the
yeah.
link below. It's a video by Oxford University. He was having a lecture to about 150 people on his journey and how he's gotten to where like winning marathons back to back. He's the only one who has won marathons back to back. So the topic. Okay, I didn't because I actually knew that video I think a year ago.
Yeah,
But
I also may have been seeing it.
But I came to listen to it a few last week. I think over the weekend, and it was an eye-opening 40 minutes. So I think it was 50 minutes or something. 40 minutes, 45 minutes. What that guy talks about, like I was literally resonating with everything he was saying as a trader, not even as an athlete. Me, I don't run any shit.
Exactly.
I only
That's
ran
one
that
thing
100
I
meters.
think
I
you
only
also
ran
need
that.
to pay attention to.
I ran that 100 meters with Kale. That was my only physical race.
Yeah.
You related to it so much because you've also seen
trading.
the challenge of trading.
Exactly. So like
Similar.
what this guy was talking about was like, hey, then I immediately called Caleb and was like, Caleb, have you slept?
Because this was before when we were talking a lot about the discipline.
Yeah, exactly. So like we had that snippet. Then I decided to go and like literally listen just to the whole interview. Hey, I got to like minute 20. I called Caleb. I also text Ken. Hey, boo, make sure you watch this.
I remember he called me. It was at night.
It was at night. Hey, I was like, hey,
it was
let me
first
just
time
share
up.
this with these guys. Hey. So Caleb manze kaniambia, hey,
I'll watch it in the morning.
I'll watch in the morning. Hey, Caleb wrote notes, bro. Hata nisikuwa nimeandika such notes. So basically that this guy pointed out about six main points that has helped him develop to who he is right now. He's literally the greatest marathoner So, and I think number one, I'll start with self-discipline. That's the first point he starts with. So he says self-discipline has been one of the greatest things that has helped him achieve like that level of proficiency in competition. So basically, he was born from a poor family, single mother, but plus he knew if I win marathon, I can change my life. So basically that was the motivation, because I need to change my life also. So he started working on it. Basically, the power to show up every day, even like
without fail.
Yeah, before he even won one marathon, he was practicing daily. So
when did this was which year? You think it's important to say?
I think it was around 2001.
So he's been running for 20 years.
20 years, exactly. So early 2000s is when he's starting marathon. And at that point, he doesn't have finances. He's not won any marathon. He was actually not running marathon. He was running these trucks. So 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters. And he won one in Kenya. He went to international events and started winning slowly. But now, for him, that was not, like he didn't become great there. So he was just winning. Then he decided to, let me take another bigger challenge. So let me now move from trucks to road. So I'll become a marathoner. So from 10,000, imagine you're always running 10k kilometers. 10k meters. That's how many kilometers? 10k meters is, I'm not sure the kilometers. 10 kilometers to run 42 kilometers. You see, like let's say right now you're managing $100,000, and you move from that $2 billion. That's a big challenge. So the fact that this guy was able to like show up every day and notice those improvements from 3,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 to actually 42 kilometers, and become the best, because there were guys like this Haile Gebrselassie for Ethiopia,
long distance runner.
Distance runner, and he was the one with the record. So Kipchoge, I think, broke the record. I think it was in 2010 or something. So the fact that this guy just he was doing it solely from his heart, like I have to do this because it's what I know how to do. So he was always showing up to training. He says this about training: if he misses a training,
he can't sleep.
I can't sleep well on that day. So he has always showed up Monday to Saturday. So he only rests on Sunday. Monday to Saturday, always working. The discipline to work every day, and like marathon is physically hard. Trading is actually just mentally hard to some point. Like you don't go home and your muscles are tired. But no, in athletics, bro, every day, imagine showing up every day and you're running. And your body gets like worn out. So basically, like the discipline to show up every day when your body is in pain. He was saying after marathon he can't even walk up stairs. But the coach is waiting for him. So like the discipline to stay like in a field that is hard, physically hard. And I think that's also why I respect athletes. That field is physically hard. And I think that's where most people don't go even to the gym. Say it because they can't afford that $1,500 or 1,500 shillings. Hey, ni ngumu bro kulift hizo vitu bana.
It's not that they can't afford. Affording they can.
Affording unaweza. Sasa lakini imagine lifting weights every day. Go home the next day 6 a.m. you should be in the gym again. So basically, like if you can become disciplined in something that is already hard for you to do, that shows like how you've solidified your self-discipline. Like you do it for your own self, not for other people to see that today I'm outside running.
That's what people do these days. Social media. Kikimbia tu kidogo.
I'm showing up
10 kilometers.
True.
Hey, I've sweated. Calories nimeburn. Bullshit.
Exactly. Do it for yourself, manze. Like wake up. If you're a trader, wake up and push it for yourself. See, just let me wake up so that Ken sees I'm awake. My success in trading is solely for myself. And hata nikikuwa successful, I don't think if I can help any other person like build that self-discipline that I have built for myself. So basically,
and Kipchoge says self-discipline is doing what is right, not what you feel like
is right. Exactly. So like the fact that our bodies is like it's so easy for your body to drift you to comfort.
Very easy.
Yes, but just for you to stick into Start comfort. I have to go to this painful thing. You wake up in the morning. Like for me, I always wake up in the morning to trade. And I wake up. In the moment I'm waking up, I know I can be going for a loss or a win. But you still have to go for it. Ukikuwa tunajua ngani kuamka go for a win. Very easy. But the fact that unaenda ku trade and you know I can get a loss here or a win here.
That so thing, outcome in uncertain.
Exactly. Working under uncertainty and still showing up. Unajua ningesema tailo sasa ni avoid leo. Maybe you ndio siku ya winning sasa. So always come
and
up.
You always get to see it. Skill unasema tena avoid ndio siku zinawa.
Exactly.
So you have to show in day out. Take those out. Trades exactly. No matter what.
Even if they sleep hata kama toka enda piga shower. Get to your desk,
take some hot tea.
So basically you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to please any other person. And you're doing it because you have personal goals. So enjoy my goals. You can't help me achieve those goals I was telling you. It's for me to work for them. Hata maybe unipe loan tu. Hata hujanisaidia bado. Exactly.
Na utanilipa.
Still and I still pay you. So basically like if you want to become proficient, you have to do it for yourself. Like that discipline needs to be like self-discipline. See ati mse unjua actually, and this is what happens in most careers. You're becoming disciplined because your boss even though routine amekwambia. So you're just disciplined along his rules. Because zingine unaweza kuwa indisciplined. But in trading sasa you're your own boss. In athletics Kipchoge anajua okay yes he has a manager but anajua hata manager hawezi kimbia kwanza. Ni mimi tu naweza kimbia. So I have to come up. No so sasa leo nisipokimbia manager atakimbia. Yes he adapt. So you have to show up and that's the self discipline a part of athletics and how it comes to trading. The moment you're not self disciplined to push yourself to work those 5-10 years those 10,000 hours, trust me, trading success will be
good point. 10,000
hours, more than 10,000 hours. Yeah, so
and
trading success will be.
What's the quote he says on discipline?
So he says this and
he quotes.
I'm actually going to frame this and put it in the office and in my house
and in his accent.
Yeah. Okay, so because he's my fellow tribesman.
Yeah.
I'll try and okay, he says this. Only the disciplined ones are free in life. If you are indisciplined, you are a slave to your passions. You are a slave to your moods. Exactly, and that's like his quote, Eliud Kipchoge. So like that quote really bamba. I was just saying it in the office every day. Like every day I wake up, that will be my mantra in trading.
Discipline.
And if you listen to this podcast, just know I'm giving you my secret.
That's
discipline.
Your secret.
Yeah, that's it. For me, it's the discipline. Unaweza spend 10 years here to develop that system. But the moment your system, you're not disciplined to follow it.
You're already.
Yeah, hata kuna jonge develop your system.
So kuna system but you're not disciplined.
You're not disciplined on it. So basically, and the second point is also important. If you're not disciplined, you're a slave to your passions. The same way we say to your body wants comfort. It's so easy, Caleb, like, hey, Caleb, where are we partying tonight?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, passion. Udunda. Hey, you're in discipline now.
Slave to your moods.
Slave to your moods. Like, you wake up, okay, let's say you like basically you're not having a good day, maybe at home with your family members, with your, but now you project that to your work. So basically, instead of you coming up with a clear mind, come to the office, kuna stress zako za home, of course you won't perform as you would have performed
at peak performance.
At peak performance, exactly. So this is it. Like let's say on moods, it's discipline to know when not to trade and when to trade. Sometimes yes, kunaweza kuwa na setup, but like your mentality is not even there in markets. So the discipline to stay out of markets is also discipline.
And also in the opposite, you don't know those times when you've made killer trades, now you're excited, now you just want to take trades.
No,
that's also control the moods.
Exactly.
Don't be a slave to
be a slave to your moods. Like winning inakumake happy, losing makes you sad. See, we always say this, and I always tell you, I tell you that in the office also. I also have this thing I'm trying to do, like always stay happy, so that like market moods don't affect you. Because it's true, like losing, yes, inakuwa na that feeling like same as winning also.
And you know the feeling is not the I think the most important thing to understand is the feeling is not something you decide.
Exactly.
It's a neurochemical process that happens in your brain. losing makes you. It's like if you've read the book like 12 Rules for Life, the first chapter is all about that: the people who win and the people who lose. And he uses lobsters as an example. Lobsters which lose are for they're for seconds. Inachangwa it a certain, and the lobsters which win like dominate a certain point, such that ukilose hata uwezi karibia hapa mahali mawina wako.
True.
Unakaanga huko.
Lobsters?
Yeah.
Like what?
Lobsters.
What do you mean?
Like lobsters, when lobsters are on the sea huko, animals ni kaa to humans. You're also an animal. It's just that we are social animals and you have some consciousness in us. But primarily we're also animals. So when animals are in a place, there's the dominance hierarchy. Like there's someone who's at the top, someone who's at the bottom. And often in the human circle, the dominance hierarchy is established by competence and resources and such things. But now for the animals, it's about who's stronger, who has more food, who has more mates. I don't know it's which animals, if you're the dominant one, you're likely to have more mates. I don't know if it's chimpanzees or something.
I think it's lions.
I was going to say lions.
You're likely to have more mates.
And
like,
dominate all the ladies.
Anachukua wote anaenda now. So it's the same with lobsters. Like lobsters, if you observed them on the seashore or something, you'd observe like some lobsters were fighting first. They'd go into a fight.
Serious? Lobsters?
Wanapigana. The one who loses,
wameingia sports sasa, UFC.
The one who loses anakanga kando. Akai hapo ati kwa wengine anapewa his own side of staying. So it's like the losers are allowed to stay at a certain place. The winners,
serious?
Yeah.
Usikaribie huko. And those winners, when they're together, they don't continue.
No.
Hakuna ule one
but
winner.
Also the winners will keep on fighting until they find the one
that's
winner.
what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what will happen. They'll keep on fighting till there's the one winner.
Lobsters do that.
Lobsters. No some chapter. I've not explained it in a perfect way. 12 Rules for Life. That's the first chapter. Okay. But the idea is stand up with your shoulders back. Meaning, don't be the loser. Don't have that victim. Because nowadays I like when people play the victim. Because on social media you can see it a lot. Like people try to play the victim. Like you don't have a perfect example. Like if you're too aggressive, people will try to tell you calm down and be conservative. Try to be, don't go too much, don't propel too much or such things. But if you really examine these people and try to understand their unconscious feelings, you find that some of these people, they also have the resentment of they can't be that aggressive. They'd really love to be like that, but they can't. So to mask up that, they try to play the victim, like we have been left out or something, we are not being paid attention to or such things. Okay, you'll understand when you observe some of these things also. So yep, it's a neurochemical process. And like Lawi was saying, the minute you start winning, it propels you to have confidence. The minute you start losing, some chemicals are released in your brain, so the first step of controlling such things is understanding this is neurochemistry happening in my brain. Like,
and it's also something I was noting, like when you start losing, there's a certain pattern you get into.
Exactly.
That these days I'm very aware of it and I try to go against it. And it's hard because there's this, you lose, maybe now you don't look at markets anymore.
Exactly.
Or
you don't watch
you
charts.
don't watch charts. You maybe want to watch like a movie to forget.
Exactly.
It happens. You want to listen. You want to sleep.
And now that's the discipline. The winners. Not that winners don't lose.
Exactly.
They handle losing differently.
Yeah, like the framework. Like how do you frame losses? How do you frame winning?
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the... See, kuna we are losing. Kuna bad days. What to lose? But the framing of this person is... Like for me, that's my framing. These are just chemicals going on in my brain. I don't need to pay attention to them. That's it. Like... These are chemicals which will take care of themselves. But at least I have, and that's why you're rational. Like you're a rational human being. You have consciousness. Like you can evaluate things and see.
Of course.
I'm falling into certain patterns which don't make sense. I'm falling into patterns which make sense. So that's the point. Like you understand the chemistry of your brain and then you are aware, like you're saying, hey, if I start losing, this is what happens. If I start winning, now discipline is showing up when you're losing. Because even winning is dangerous. Like nilikuwa naambia Caleb the other day, like if you start making $1 million shillings a month, and you've not handled such money, it's very easy to be comfortable and relax, especially if you're paying attention to the money, because your lifestyle has changed and such things. But if you're focused on the long-term prize, if you're audacious, this will just be a step. You'll celebrate it, you'll enjoy it, you'll change your life, but that will not make you arrogant. It will not make you think you're better than other people. It will not make you fall into such patterns. What will happen is instead, you'll use this as a stepping stone to further your progress, to move on to the next level. You get? So you need to be very smart around how you handle certain things, because we just go filtering. Like you're saying, it's like we started trading many.
Started trading?
Well, we were many.
Oh, okay.
Now we are remaining a few. As the game advances, some people will play the game well, so they'll move faster. Others won't move. You get?
And
others will get comfortable.
And what Ken is saying, it's what we're talking about, Taras, what Eliud talked about, the marathon. First 30 kilometers,
Exactly.
everyone is together.
Exactly.
Everyone is running.
says
Sisi
this.
wote. Yeah.
Marathon starts after 30.
Exactly. Because for the first 30 kilometers, everyone is energetic.
Everyone.
Yeah.
See what it pamoja, it's a big crowd, we are all pushing.
Yeah. Then you continue saying this. After 30, if you can move with me, then you can make it.
Exactly. And this is where he also changes his strategy.
Exactly,
He
yeah.
starts running at a different pace.
Increases pace, also.
Because this way now, people
because,
start
diverging.
As people drop, now you increase your pace also. Because that guy actually, if you see how far he wins from other people, number 2 could almost cut 3 minutes later.
True. Your distance one.
Changa umse na farm.
So I'm watching last minute another 30.
Exactly.
He has about
So,
16 more kilometers to go.
Exactly.
And that's what now many traders don't have. Many traders don't have that acceptance of you have to lose for you to win.
True.
Like you must go through that period of losing, understand the patterns when you're losing, and then now you can start. Unafikiri utaanza kutrade then
And
you're
what
just
did
winning.
Kipchoge say also about losing? He also lost some other marathons. He's not losing, but he wanted to be number 1, but he became maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You see, and he says this: after losing, your game imeisha.
I forget it.
I focus on the next.
Pass.
Exactly. So ukianza to beat yourself about
jana.
this trade,
Yeah,
I should
he
have done this.
He said once you start saying those things, start regretting, start
That's
complaining,
indiscipline.
you're already self-indiscipline.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Focus on the moment.
next, what's the next?
What's the
Isha
next?
Peter.
Isha
You can't do
Peter.
anything about it.
So you could train for the next trainer.
Yeah.
So the moment you only losses are still.
And it's like animals do it, like you're saying, they normally say gazelles. Danger kikam, they'll all run away. When the danger is gone, they forget.
Wanasahau.
They
But
move
now
on
the
to
human
something.
animal,
Hey.
the cast off,
Upon the stress in
the cast off,
foresight.
and insight.
True.
Both of them.
Foresight and insight.
Both
It's a
of them
curse.
interfere with us. So you really have to be smart around how you handle such things.
And talking about smart, I think as we just continue to my next point, you said, and this is all seen with all sports people, and it's coined by Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours. Like what Ken was saying earlier, you need to start at a young age.
Yeah.
So if I just give a short story, because it's what I got from the book. And which book is it? This Outliers, yeah?
Yeah.
So you can read Outliers, get to know what 10,000 hours means. Basically, 10,000 hours is the amount of time the psychologists guys came up with that needs you to reach that amount of time that you need to take in order to reach mastery in any field you need to take. So there's this psychologist called Dr. Eric something, together with his colleagues. So they went to this school where where people are performing well, music. So they took these people and they said they grouped them. So he told with his colleagues, it's like me and you guys, we go to a certain school, we want to just learn from these people who are really playing well. So he took a group of violinists and told them, and told the guys there to group them. So group them, the stars, the one who are looking like they have potential to become world-class players.
Yeah.
Then that's group 1. Group B, guys who are just good. Guys who, yes, they're not a world class, but they're really good. Like, there's Messi, but there's also someone else who's good.
True.
Okay. Then there's the other people who'll now go and become teachers. Okay. Yes, they can perform. They know the code.
They can't perform
exceptionally.
exceptionally.
World class. And then now they came and now asked these people. So they started differentiating and asking these people, the guys who are yet to become world class. So the main work was to look at achievement is all about talent and preparation. Okay. But the problem with this is that the more the psychologists look into it, the more they realized preparation plays a bigger role than talent. So now with these people that they've taken, what was common with them? Talent. Started off at 5 years, 6 years. Okay. But now along the way, now the guys who are 5, all of them were starting at 5. So along the way, by the time they were 9, when they were 5, they were doing about 2, 3, 4 hours a week. practice. All of them, everyone is practicing. This is something new, I know. Now, along the way, when they started getting to the age of 8, 9, up to sasa the 30 kilometers in Hanza, people start. Now, the guys who were becoming world class started putting in more hours with the main goal of becoming better at what they're doing. Kumbuka, at first it was talent. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But there are these people along the way now, they want to become the best.
Exceptional.
So
Exceptional.
they have now a goal.
They have a goal now. Now they're working towards it. And a perfect example, as we continue talking this, we'll bring him up more, is Michael Phelps, the guy we've been looking at. But anyway, let me stick with this context. So the violinist, by the time they're 9, they're putting in more hours. By the time they're 15, okay, they've started. Now you're starting to see the difference. Okay, there's this guy who's going. You can know
he's even being renowned worldwide.
Exactly. By 15, Michael Phelps world record. Remember, world record. So I'm a break world record umpia. Anyway, by the time they're 20, now we already know who's world class, and this is what we are saying with Kina Mbappe, this Kina Rashford. At a young age, you already know this guy, Undo,
going to be
the great guy. So that's what they're looking at. So what they're looking at, innate talent is not all about. That's not what will get you to the end of the goal to become world class. It's all about preparation. And what did he say? It was working hard. And what did the world class people do? They worked much harder than the other people. So in today's world, we've sort of entered into this mentality of, okay, you guys also give me your views. This is what I think about it. You know, work smart. Everyone is saying work smart. But what is working smart? The people who are able to work smart, at first they had to really work hard.
True.
Like day in, day out, you're putting in the time. Like trading, even umeangalia charts 8 hours a day.
Exactly.
Like
10,000 hours.
You're putting in that
screen time.
If you're jogging, if you Kipchoge, we've said it's taken 20 years to become a world class. All that time preparation is putting in the work. So that's where now working smart, for example, now let's say you've worked hard, Kina Cristiano. They've worked hard first 20 years. By the time now they're 20, now they start working smart. Remember, they already become a master. But now what may you think? Now they start working smart in terms of what diet to take, how many times I need to jog,
also
how many hours I need to sleep.
Part also is
the
also
business part. Now, now that's working smart. Now people sort of are trying to cheat this. Work smart now even before you work hard. History stop working hard.
What are you
work
working smart for?
There's that part for working hard. Don't negate it. You have to put in that 10,000 hours. And if you're asking now, I was doing the math. So now maybe we've brought this up 10,000 hours. What is it? So what it takes to achieve
10,000 hours.
the time. So let's say, for example, you people, let's say us trading, you're putting in 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Let's say weekend to rest. We're adding. Listen. Stop skipping my process. We're going step by step. Stop skipping. But it's good you already agree with it. So if you're putting 2 hours, 5 days a week, okay, and you're working 52 hours, you're going to take 20 years. So 2 hours tu
Ni kidogo.
Kidogo.
Amka 7 by 9 umefunga kazi.
Ushafunga kazi, umsema nime focus yangu ikwangi fit 5 days a week. 20 years, sawa. Now, if you put in 4 hours, ongeze tu 2 hours, 5 days a week, you'll take half the time. You'll take 10 years. Okay, if you put 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, you'll take 6.5 years. Okay, 6 hours sasa umeanza ku increase. If you put 8 hours a day, which is ideal, 8 hours a day, because you have
a full-time job.
Yeah, now let's say you're doing this full-time, 8 hours, to send me to on the minimum side, you're doing it full-time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you'll take to reach 10,000 hours, 5 years.
That's reasonable.
Which is reasonable. That's why I'm saying that one is an ideal.
Exactly.
If you put in
5 hours a day.
Okay.
I mean
8 hours a day.
Sorry, 8 hours a day.
But now
days.
you also need to look at the brain science. Your brain can't work 8 hours a day on something deeply. You'll be doing shadow work.
Now there's, and remember over here I've taken also 5 days. So I've sort of tuseme hata ukichukua 6 and push it into the weekend.
I think the ideal number according to research is 45 hours. That's 45. The amount of time that your brain can really focus on something.
If you do that, exactly. that's between 8 to 10 years.
Exactly. So that's why it will take you, like, you can't
a long
cheat.
time.
Yeah, you can't cheat. It will take you probably a decade for you to become exceptional at something.
And that's why now we keep saying these guys who started at 12,
they're better. And you also
by
know,
the time they're 20,
there's that also. There's the young age, but there's also the young brain, and then there's the focus. Like,
of course, yeah.
The minute Nico 28 28, 29, I've already built in very bad habits.
So it's hard to...
It's hard to teach a 30-year-old how to focus like you teach a 12, 13, 14-year-old. If you have not built some of these things earlier on in life yako iko honestly fucked up. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
It's hard to change some of these things.
But also Kipchoge says, sorry to cut you short.
Kipchoge man.
The best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. But the next best time
is now. Yeah. We're not saying it can't be done.
Of course.
At least,
of course.
Anza tu. Ukishaanza tu, ushakonka yourself.
25 years ago, me was 0 years.
Kwa 0. Sasa hapo ndo ungeanza kusoma tu.
Because also, like, there's a very good book called The Defining Decade. And it's about your 20s. So they argue that in your 20s, if you don't build in some of these things, if you don't define it, if you don't define what you really want in your life, if you get 30s, kama hujaamua vizuri mahali unaenda.
And this is in your 20s now. Now imagine the guys who started in their teens.
Exactly. And imagine if Kipchoge started it at 10.
Exactly. So, and you know, the bad thing
Kipchoge, you're saying what?
Imagine if he started like at a young age, because for him he started I think 18, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Some guys started.
Look
at Omanyala. He didn't start a long time.
But
like
still,
after high school, probably after high school. Yeah, true. So
it's also it can be done. I mean, it can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but you'd have a better advantage if you like. If I found someone who has left high school and is deeply interested in trading or deeply interested in a subject, and they're willing to put in the time and the hours, and they have narrowed in on that, they have zeroed in on doing what they're doing, I'd really like to see how that person will develop. Yeah. Like a
10-year journey.
But you know, if I think about it, that's basically us. Because like for me, I was in school for only 2 years.
University?
Yeah. So I was in school for
I was in for 3 months.
So I went for a semester. And then after a semester I left, and then I went in for another semester. But I wouldn't say for the second, like let's say I started trading at 20.
Yeah, basically. 5 years ago. Imagine
someone who started at 18.
That's Taras.
Or 15.
Or 15. That's 15 now is the perfect age.
That age. And you're able to focus and you know what it takes.
Yeah. No, that one is a legend, man.
He'll stand out by the time you're 20. And this is what you see many people abroad, yeah?
Yeah. To become an outlier, because you're competing against many people.
True.
So to become exceptional, man. Because like Michael, let's go to the third point.
Phelps or Mike?
Phelps.
Okay.
Let's go to the third point.
What's the third point?
Work ethic.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Umedecide sasa nataka kuwa outlier, umeamua. I want to be an outlier. To be the best at what I'm doing. That's my goal. My friend, you're competing against people who are putting in insane number of hours. Like Michael was working, he never missed a single day of practice for 6 years. So
not a single
day where he didn't swim. And he said, if you miss a single day of swimming, you have to take 2 days to replace that day. So you can't miss. Because I double my work. Exactly. That's one. But now even to make it worse is in a day he had 4 training sessions. 2.5 hours in the water, the first session. Then lifting weights. Then again some sessions in the water.
Serious?
Yeah.
So the whole day to huko.
So like different places. That was the thing. Like different environments. And he said he would visualize like how the race would go, how he would turn. Like he had everything figured out
to perfection before
he even swam. You get? And I think I also got the same from Kobe. Like Kobe would say, if you're playing a team and you're the one to take the finishing shot, because in basketball you can win by just a basket or just 1 3-point, so you really have to be keen on the last maybe 20-30 seconds of the game for the last quarter. Now there are people who are exceptional at finishing the game. Like you'd seen The Last Dance, how Michael would finish mob Jordan. So Kobe will say now he was told you're the one to finish. And so when you're the one to finish a game, you have to study how the opposing team you're playing against, how they double in on, or they zero in on someone who's known to finish the game. Because there's a lot of pressure at that moment. Maybe you've tied.
So the whole game is studying the other guys.
Exactly. No, before the game. So before the game, so he was saying, so this is the story. If he went to a game and he would observe, he's been given the ball, and then he gets a double team. So a double team is basically 2 people are going to take the ball away from you, or 2 people are trying to cover yani. So you can't shoot, you can't pass, like uko mtu mmoja ako free, wewe umeshikiliwa na watu wawili. So in most cases people will pass the ball, you get. But if you're passing the ball, you'd never prepared well for that finishing shot. So what you do is you study how these people attack on the double team. So you will tell that, okay, if I'm on the D side, these people will come in straight like this or in this other angle. So he would change up, make sure he's at the corner on the finishing shot, such that if you try to attack it from the corner, he knows you guys are perfect at coming from this point. But at that point, you're weak. So if you're coming in double, I'll be faster than you, the 2 of you, and then I'll shoot. So before you, I'm shoot na akaenda, amemaliza hiyo game na hiyo story imeisha. But you can see how well prepared that is. Like, there's no second guessing yourself. Ama nifanye nini hapa? And the same is applicable in trading. The minute you're in a trade which you have not well prepared for, those are the times unaanzanga kwa emotional.
Of course.
Wenda from long to short. Unaanza pass. Trades should be well prepared for, like
way before.
Like, you know, if this market does this is how I'm going to do it. If this market does this is how I'm going to do it. If this happens, this is what I'm going to do. This is the amount of risk I'm going to take. Such that when the signal appears, it's a matter of flow. You're just going in the rhythm with the market. Like, you're not again starting to second guess yourself. Like the friend you're saying, that one is he or she is very far from becoming a trader.
True.
Because one, she needs to have the confidence to lose, and then do the work to change that confidence of losing into the confidence to win.
So how do you get the confidence to lose?
You have to be courageous.
And accepting the field you're getting
exactly
into. Yeah, you can't come into trading, it's already a field where you lose.
Exactly. And then you don't want to
accept it to kwanza.
Exactly. And you know, you can't accept it by theoretically, you have to lose.
Of course.
I tell you, first trade kwanza you
lose money,
lose
mpaka uone kumbe hata kulose si dangerous hivyo. Ni kitu ya kawaida yani. You, because if you look into psychologist, if you look into psychology, I mean, and you go into a psychologist or a psychotherapist,
yeah,
if you go to them and you tell them, you know, I have a fear of heights, what do? They don't tell you, hey, sasa hiyo hatuwezi kiwa. They tell you, okay, we'll expose you first to 8 floors. Wanakuexpose kwanza to 8 floors. Na wakupeleki ati kwa dirisha. Anakupeleka 8 floors, anakushosha unaona huko nje, unaona vizuri. Unaona si dangerous. Then the next time they pull you closer, until eventually you can now face your fears. But the minute you have a fear and then you want to face it all at once, it'll blow up.
It's so gradual.
Exposure. And then you build it in. And that's why in trading, I can teach you the strategy, I can teach you psychology, I can share with you some of these tips, but you can't replicate my experience.
Just because you watch Bruce Lee movies does not mean you know Kung Fu.
Exactly.
True.
You can just chill
so
with me.
That point is
baka uone make do baka unashanga na nafanya kila kitu kama Ken lakini mimi nanchenga.
True.
Because you can't replicate the experience I have in my head. Like I know how to do things that you'll take years to learn also how to do, because it took me years. Yeah. So there's no shortcut to success.
What were you saying, Ras? There's a point you're saying.
Basically just echoing what he's saying. Basically,
on work ethic.
That's the power of practice. Like you have to really practice what you're doing.
Yeah.
Where's somebody you're a marathoner and you don't go to run?
Yeah, what utokeangi
tizi priority ukiingia maybe
I'm Olympian.
hiyo kitu iwaka. So basically practice is the power of
on your practice. Just a quote Gladwell says, practice in Outliers, practice isn't the thing you do once you're good, it's the thing you do that makes you good.
Exactly.
Like,
most traders because social media wameona huko niacha Mungu that sio something.
But you know, like you already have to practice what is working for it to work in a competition.
Exactly.
You
have to practice it. Because it works, it will just work.
Angu practice. Na ndo maana Kipchoge anasema
like Lamborghini huko ndani. Takuja anza kutrade.
My point is but he says this thing about practice. He says I think Caleb can remember well the fact that there's the difference between practice and competition. He says when he's practicing, his point is running away. But in competition, basically Like
what are you saying, Tara?
Exactly. You see, like the point is this: like in practice, there is no much of the challenge. It's not a challenge, but in competition now, the challenge comes. Like, hey, nikipractice huko niko na maboys wangu tunapiga story. Same way tu.
Hata hakuna pressure.
Hakuna pressure.
Tuka demo tu huko.
Tuko demo tu tuna practice tunakai stuff inaweza work kiasi. But now like where the toughness comes is in the competition sasa. Now you come into live markets.
Not
sasa huko na
for
si
1 month.
2 months. Live market and you have $500,000. Sasa uko na 5 years into trading you've developed uko sasa na 50 million in your account. Sasa hapo sasa unaweza kukumbuka what did I practice?
Sasa lose 2 million usikie vizuri.
What did I practice sasa? Unakuja kuona kumbe hata vitu ile practice. Kwa hata una practice shit.
So you really have to be well, and that's one technique that I've also adopted now in my trading. So every morning before I start my day, but now I'm still inconsistent, but I'm working on it. But every morning before I start my day, I'll take the first 15-20 minutes to visualize like how the day should be, what trades I should take, what markets I'm watching. If there's no trade under my radar, if I don't have a feel for the markets, then I'm not going to trade and such. Like you really have to pre-plan what you'll do. You really have to do those mental rehearsals to know, hey, I really have to be prepared to do ABCD.
Like, so that when you get into the competition, vitu hazikupatia
off guard.
Of course. But, dollar iko hivi high. They were supposed to be in the dollar trade. So basically that shows you didn't practice well.
Even your strategy itself will find you off guard. Because there's a certain you're supposed to trade the strategy, but sasa imegeukiwa. It's surprise.
So handling that pressure and then also visualizing taking losses, I think that's important. I don't even nowadays focus on like visualizing wins because I know they'll take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But I know like once you start losing, like you're saying, there's a very, very high chance you'll enter into some very bad patterns, and those are the ones I'm really keen on. Like I know if I can prevent those ones, the others can really take care of themselves.
And to your point on sorry,
pardon,
no, just adding your point yako ya work ethic. Guys we see putting like we normally see Michael Gitonga, that guy work
he's in the office, man, like daily.
He's performing better than you, remember? He's performing way better than you.
He has more money than you.
He has more money than you. More years. Holiday.
I remember like when he was in Coast, that guy was trading. Nilikuwa naangalia tu hiyo performance yake. Anaangalia tu trade tu. Nako veke huko.
Michael Gitonga has some crazy
and
work
I remember
ethic.
when I knew him, he told me, Ken, ile discipline trading itakufunza. Like the discipline you learn from this game, if you're going to play it and play it at an elite level, like that's not discipline that anyone can teach you. Like hata utaambianga wase cheki, you guys want shit but you're not willing to go through what I'm willing to go through.
Like the joke, like saying you remember when was it? I think it was the time
it was Christmas holiday.
Once we went for holiday, Christmas. We took how long? We took like what? 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks out of the office. Hatujaonekana kwa ofisi. Tunarudi January. Mmerudi? Mulina holiday.
Holiday ilikuwa fit. Like that time I remember I was with him during that World Rally Championship in Naivasha.
Yeah.
So his friends were going.
Then like, are you going?
Gitosh, are you going to
my investor?
My investors are going, but kazi ni mingi. Nitaenda hiyo ingine.
Work ethic kuku, it's crazy.
There's one thing you can't cheat some things, man.
Yeah, true.
Just
the good thing what you're saying, even in cheating now in trading and sports, what really stands out, your performance, your outcome of the real thing will show how much you've put in practice.
Exactly.
For example,
black and white.
Clearly right now we know what's his name, Eliud can run sub 2 hours.
2 hours.
Ikifika point tuseme sasa afikangezo 30 kilometers anze kuhema, it's very clear umse hajakuwa kipractice.
True.
Labda alifika mahali akisema mimi ni
True.
it's clear in trading.
Like you've lost your discipline.
In trading ukiona mtu emotional amechanganyikiwa, unajua tu umse practicing.
True.
Put in what the time. Ama
takes.
chat analysis amaanza kufanya tena vitu zingine tu. You just know umse practice.
Ajahoni hiyo kitu.
Basically your P&L will show you
Exactly.
how you've been
Practicing.
working on your trading.
Not huko umeperform aje nika football tu utajua msee akishoot pena na pena ndanga huko.
Like
Unajua practice ama air balls unashooting air balls
the same way
tu zina azingi ni ma air tu zinaendanga tu.
Like in let's say in
because you remember that video for Stephen Curry. Just kidding
and they are all getting in.
Kidding.
There are about 100 shots, yeah.
Bro, that's
About 100
practice.
shots.
I wanted to say something about football. So in football, there are 38 games in the Premier League. 38. And you can't cheat. Atukue number 1. Na hizi magame uko ndani ulikuwa unati by luck. Unajua leo tumeponea bana tukashinda hii team. Then the next time also. And it's so hard for you to like basically good teams just rise to the top
In the long run.
Unaona tu performance yao tu. Let's say which team was it? Liverpool I think the past 2 seasons. The previous one. See the previous one. Those guys like performed exceptionally well.
Even the one for Leicester.
Like,
Leicester.
Very like unapata in 38 games they lost like 4. They drew like 3. You see luck bro. Any team ina show who coach akona strategy bana.
Na people are putting in the work.
38 games ati ucheat tu hadi uko number 1.
And something I was also thinking, and if you think of it,
the same way in trading, you can have one winner trade maybe ulipata by luck. Lakini bro in 1010 years
That one winning man. That one winning here.
Tomorrow
double
account.
Piga track record ya 5 years
minimum.
Kama una ya 5 years.
Hiyo ndio the minimum time una need kupata license, ndio.
Siongee sana about it.
I was going to say, have you ever thought why okay, but this I think is on another point. Can we fuse it?
Yeah.
You remember Kipchoge? Running is not all about the legs. It's about
Heart and
the
the
mind.
you have to conquer your mind.
So
that guy is a mentor for days.
If you watch Eliud,
But I think
that
also
video.
book mali clear kwanza.
Now I was going to talk now about mental fitness.
It's not just in your
because he says practice. When you're practicing, it's all about physical fitness.
Exactly.
When the competition comes, when it's time to perform,
It's about
physically ready. That's why is your mind ready now to go do what it takes. And now think of it. Why do you think people break records when they are competing at competitions?
It's because there's a pressure and that's in the flow state.
And it's their goal. It's their goal.
Breaking records practice. Practice is all about practice.
Yeah.
Now
Body
the mental is what now pushes that practice to optimum. Perfection. Ikina Elaine Thompson on watu wa Jamaica, she was running 100 meters. She broke the record the other day in Olympics. Kina Usain Bolt, this Michael Phelps. You remember Michael Phelps, the video we were watching, the one for, and that was all mental. The one Olympic, the one he was at the corner, now they're coming back, he was number 7. Remember?
Within any enyeyo kitu
Ali
in less than 2 minutes
even less than 2 minutes that coming back
meachwa kwanza nyuma sasa ame catch up ni kama ile 10 kilometers simback sasa
imagine
and he catches up with you
anakuwa number 1 from number 7 that one see vile unasema ras yo si luck yo practice make up and also now that mental fitness what did he say? You're telling me at the interview what when he was asked by Tony Robbins
so you are number 7 you won by 1/100th of a second so it's less than a second
wait 100
of a
less
second
of a second
yani alishikio juma tu hata sijui yani then he was asked how he was like I knew I was winning I knew I had to win this I had well prepared I had visualized winning it I had to push myself to win it and the thing that made me push myself was that I felt it like I could feel I'm winning and so it was very easy for me to just like push myself to touch that thing the first one that's what I did that's how I won like
and that's all mental
and that's the
winning
thing
addictive
also I think that point can also merge with another point from Kipchoge also the fact that he said believe in yourself that point was spectacular
if you don't believe in yourself you've failed already
you shall fail umsa anasema and I told Caleb that like scientists said that it was
That's a good point. Yeah,
it
continue.
was 57 years. Like it would take 57 more years
For someone to break
for someone
the record.
to
At
break-
2075.
to run under 2 hours.
Sub 2 hours.
Sub 2 hours. That was 2075. Asa hii jamaa sasa hiyo ndio ilimfanya furious. Hey.
Unasema nini?
Wacha sasa nikuje sasa. Sasa like you stuff believe in yourself bro. Like umsami niambia mimi siwezi trade. Wacha sasa nimshow naweza trade.
Vizuri.
Sasa ni work on my shit ni
Wow.
kae
Prove them
chini.
wrong, don't prove them right.
Hey, okay, prove them right na usha fail. Wewe
And that's the element of using dark energy. Like you have some dark
exactly.
energy within you. You use
Bring
it
it
well.
to
Don't
your
suppress
advantage.
it. Don't suppress it. And that's more of the it was chapter something of laws of human nature. Look into your shadow. There's some dark things you're repressing.
True.
And they can be very helpful if you bring them out. Like if you bring them out to the light. Like someone telling you can't do something. Or like putting yourself on death ground. Like it's this or this.
True.
It's like war. When you're in a war, you don't have a choice. Like ni shoot tu jamaa ama nimwache.
Hata ufikiri
It's shooting
to survive.
to survive. Like it's the mindset for me. Yo shit unibamba sana. That's why I think I also enjoy the game of trading, because if I compare like how other people live and us, we are not even on the top notch levels yet. We're still working towards bringing that aspect. The minute you start hitting those levels and you compare yourself to other people, it's so hard for you not to feel proud of yourself, because there are very many challenges you have had to go through, sacrifices. Like you've made a lot that other people can't
like,
go through. So I'll give up. Walishindwa na hiyo kitu. It's not, and that's the first thing I think you should. It's not that this person is really smart or a genius. It's that this person is more resilient, more relentless, more determined, more disciplined.
Of course.
Like he's putting in more hours. Okay, work 4, me now work 6. Work 6 now work 8.
And there's this interview by Kobe. He says this, like his friends, his teammates walikuwa naendanga vacays.
Yeah,
they're rich.
I swear. Is it the one you was with valuetainment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because these guys are rich, so they go for vacays with their
Patrick
girlfriends. But he said, me, I never went for a vacation. The reason was because when I retire, I don't want to regret that I would have done this better.
What ifs? And Michael
Those
Phelps
what
also
ifs.
said that.
Yeah, I remember. I was going to say the same.
Michael
So
said
basically,
that.
you like
Sacrifice.
give it your all.
Yeah.
No,
No
Utafika time
50-50.
ya vacation uko utaenda.
Tilifika point akaritaya. Sasa akaona family and travel.
And that's what now.
And he retired as the
social
best.
media has lied to us. Social media has lied to us. You can work and be on vacay. That's why. Seriously.
Yes, you are.
Social media
Working on
hivyo.
vacation.
You're working on vacation and you're so productive. You're drinking while working. You like. I want you to get what social media has lied to us. Then the people, like you said, in social media there are no great men.
Hakuna great people.
Nasaa wako wanamanajiwa na watu hizo accounts.
Hakuna great person.
Wako huko hivyo spending
Instagram.
time on it. Yeah.
Mchako great.
Exceptional, an outlier. So there's that element, which I think also, if people really, that's one thing that if people listen to this podcast and you're starting out on your journey, I think that's one of the most important things I tell you. If you're coming into trading and you're coming into it 50-50, there's a 90% chance you won't make it. 90.
True.
90. Like I'm not lying. There's a 90% chance you won't make it.
Wale watu I'm coming for your money wanawaka hard.
Wanawaka ase
They're working full time.
walali. Wanakujia pesa yako. Hiyo $300 unaweka ndio nataka nichukue kwanza. Nijibambe nayo. So if you're not committed to that level, just do something else. There are very many other things which you can do and you're not so committed and you can make a substantial living. The bad thing about trading is if you're not committed, you won't make it a small living. You're losing. There's no fine line at it. No, I'm not so good. I've been making money which can sustain me, but I'm not so good. It's either you're winning or losing.
And you know when you're losing, you lose money and confidence.
Kila kitu inaenda.
Lose kila kitu.
So decide earlier on. Decide earlier on if I'm going into this winning at all costs.
True.
That's how me approach trading.
Yeah, the
from day
Mamba
one.
mentality.
Even though
Kuja hapa ni kufinish
don't
everyone.
make
man.
decision to drop out. Hey, unaenda tu unasema acha drop out, niende nibahatishe. It's like this shit has to work out. There's no middle ground. This thing has to work out. If you're not approaching trading with that mentality,
True.
And then Kobe on that same interview, I remember he said about culture and all. I think, okay, culture in terms of business, but also now for himself. He said, if you want to be number one, come work with me. If you want to be number two, ndo uongee na watu wengine huko.
Usikam kwangu.
Kama unataka kuperform,
kuja kwangu.
Kuja. And the same thing pia si unatafuta financial hub. If you want to
work,
make your trading
A team, A++.
And I think also that's another point. Umesema tu link your point is this. I was also like keen listening to Kobe and also Kipchoge. And if you look at these people, they didn't do it alone.
They had
teamwork
and the power of teamwork.
Yeah.
Kobe alisema manze, akianza game kulikuwa na kina
Jordan. Kina Shaq.
So he went to Jordan. Akamwambia,
akauliza,
me want to be great ka wewe. Give me pointers. Kenda huko kwa Shaq. Give me pointers. Akakuja akazi combine akazi do better.
That's what it takes.
Same with Kipchoge. The guy who the neighbor who made him enter running, he's his coach right now.
Yeah.
So and just meeting someone to make you like enter a market, start somewhere, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Same with trading too. And the fact that like you can't realize all this by yourself.
Definitely. You need people
to yeah, even in trading utajua trading, yes, but sasa unajua tena then trading is so wide. So you also need someone to at least the most important thing hizo zingine focus on this.
Because I remember like Michael telling us kama hujashika risk reward venye ina work hiyo kitu kama hujaelewa never make money in trading. And that I think that was the point you decided you're never going to move your stops, you're never going to move your targets.
Exactly.
You're never going to interfere with the trade because the minute you do you've interfered with winning and losing.
True.
You get
the probabilities ya hiyo system yako ushaanza kujaribu.
Remember another time he told me, can you really discipline? Hiyo kitu bado ilikuwa kwa kitchen huko. Mbele discipline inahitajika kwa hii kitu, si watu wengi wanaweza.
Si wango.
True.
Hii kitu discipline.
And remember Eliud said 100% of myself is nothing compared to 1% of a whole team.
Yeah. And 1% 1% of myself also si kama 100% hiyo team bila mimi pia hawata perform.
Exactly.
So
because even like for us I think that has helped a lot, the fact that you are many, so nikiwa down at least naona at least sasa kuna nguvu, so wanakupush
nasaidiana. Okay, solo tu utajibit.
Utajibit. And then there's that also joking about mistakes, having fun about it,
laughing.
Exactly, stalking people yes, you get yani
I get
there's that element of there's fun as you're
there's
working on
side.
something, and it's not only about winning.
Learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. There's fun in working with people on something.
Yeah, and I think also that on the part of mentorship, that's why that's our main primary job at Financial Hub.
Yep.
We are not here to make you the best trader.
Yep.
To mentor to on the best path to follow if you want to be successful in this game.
Yeah.
See ati can do you have $1 billion from trading? No. Caleb, no. But at least uko na some knowledge about this field. Yeah. Same way to the coach wa Kipchoge.
Ukiwa na $1 billion kwanza staki shughuli yenu.
Yeah, exactly. But take advantage of it time kuna someone trying to guide you.
Yeah.
Then upoteka sisi. Me I remember when I started trading, I knew no single Kenyan in the education side. Like ningeenda tu kwa msee, please help me understand. If it was not a book from KU, sijui hata tungeanza aje game, because like everything was scattered, especially kwanza like in a local setting when let me trust this business,
and then
let me get into it.
Like we've just talked about athletes we've never met, na venye tumeongelea nikasi you spend time now.
True.
Yani you know so much about this person, nikave mushina, yani I know a lot about you. That's the power of the internet. If you in this day and age, if you don't leverage on such things, man,
easy to
you consumer and una consume stupid shit, like you'll definitely die like miserable. You won't have anything to show.
So I think we can end it there for today.
Yeah, there's so much
our time is up
to compare between these things. Things like consistency.
Hata tujamaliza hizi points zetu, think positive, cocoon concentration,
full focus. My friend, it takes a man years.
It takes a man years like you need to learn this game, and I think that's also one thing. It takes you years, man.
Exactly.
You can't cheat.
Do you think there's any athlete that aliingia to 1 year na
I was just telling Caleb, like I was surprised Kipchoge amekimbia 20 years.
Before tuanze kumsikia, ulianza kumsikia sijui 3-4 years ago.
Ola Dageta ameshtuka.
Jamaa walipiga tizi bana.
For a very long time. Umeanza kumsikia tu juzi Eliud. Huyu jamaa amekimbia for years bana.
Yeah, true. Plus also another thing, just a last point. Also in sports there's that uncertainty. Will I win or not in today's game? There's the fact that will my keeper get injured or not? Striker Ronaldo kwanza akiumia, probability of your game kwanza kulose sha. Nika do trading manze. Exactly. So the uncertainty also is high in sports. Maybe just for those people, okay, you kina Kipchoge who they believe in themselves, yani. Jamaa hata kama kuna hiyo uncertainty bado yani ame reduce by believing in himself.
Yeah.
So there's just so much. I think we'll have another episode on this.
Yeah, we'll do another one.
Very interesting, very interesting. So you guys can go watch. You guys can go watch all those interviews we've said. I think Caleb will put the links.
Yeah, I'll put some links.
Create
below.
a document called Lessons from Top Athletes.
Top athletes.
You can learn great stuff out of it. So just write Lessons from Top Athletes and then list
relate
them.
it.
Then you'll see how far you are from success.
Yeah. So that's
it. That's it for today. I hope you'll enjoy this show and share it with your friends, family, and everyone in the trading space, even those people who are not in trading space. We've talked a lot about sports, so people in sports also can also enjoy this podcast. That is it for today from Financial Hub. We are located at Jaquad Towers, 17th floor. If you want to visit us, pay us a visit. We are always open to visitors. So we want to chat and build this industry up. So that's it for today. I think we'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe and also follow the other channels on Spotify, Anchor for us to, and also Trio Media, the home of podcasts. So this is the place, the best podcast. I've not seen any other studio like this. So if you guys want to also shoot your podcasts, Trio Media is the place. So that's it for today. Thank you so much.